Hey guys, I got a Sega Dreamcast flea market recently for $35. That came with a VMU, I think it's called, and whatever this game is. Anyways, I wanted to do a review of this now compared to the PS1, the Nintendo 64, then upcoming game consoles and whatever. Now the remote is amazingly strong and great, and I just can't believe how well it fits in my hand. I just love this. It feels almost perfect. It is a lot better than the Nintendo 64 analog stick contraption thing, and I've never played another Sega, but I've heard the remotes aren't good, but this is awesome. I have no complaints with the remote. Analog stick, unlike the GameCube, doesn't go pop, 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 pop. It's a complete circle. Now the VMUs are the where you save your game, and I have no clue what this is. I guess if the battery was working I could show you, but it has this little screen on it so you can save your game on there, which I don't like how you can't plug it into the console, but you plug it into the remote, and it has a little LCD screen there. I think that's, no, is it LCD screen? I forget what you call it. And it has little pictures that pop up in there, and I love that. I'm thinking like in the future of gaming they may have like remotes like this with an HD screen in the middle that you can have a touch screen and type on it, and then also on the screen on the main console you could do that along with all the buttons. That would be pretty cool. Well, anyways, now this was the last console I think that Sega made due to not selling that many. This came out in 1998 in Japan and 1999 everywhere else, but this is the graphics are better, of course, than a PS1. I'm not sure about the Nintendo 64 because I haven't looked up the bits, but they're pretty dang close if they, by just looking at the graphics anyways. But yeah, I haven't, this game is really annoying for me, so I'm not really purely tested it out yet. But you see you got 4 controller ports instead of PlayStation's 2, but you only get 1 analog stick, which always annoys me and stuff like this. But it does take discs, of course, and it plays CDs. But again, this came out 2 years or 3 years, no, 4 years in Europe anyways. I'm not sure about America because I never can figure out the symbols. Then the PS1 over there, tilt this thing, and so they did have to take some improvement. But if you look at it, they kind of got the design out from a PS1. Same color, same button placement. But yeah, I'm going to test this out. But the I like this better than the Nintendo 64, and I can't say it was I like it better than PS1 because PS1, I mean, the original one came out 4 years before this, so I can't really compare this to the PS1. But yeah, it was better at the time than the PS1, but the PS2 came out like a year later, or somewhere around there, and blew this away, and I think that's why they went out of business. Or not out of business, but stopped making consoles. I think they still make games. Well, anyways, they released all the, I think it was Genesis games on a data disc for the PS3, something like that, like Genesis Collection. Well, anyways, this game, it's rated T for animated violence, even though the whole game is animated. The graphics are fairly well, I mean, kind of chunky, but you know, for those period of times the games are pretty good. It has guns and shooting, and that's all I know really. Takes memory card, it's 1 player, standard controller. don't even have to put that in there because I already know all games use a controller. Yeah, Sega, Dreamcast, and that's this. I'll show you the picture on this in just a second. Okay, here's the main menu of the Dreamcast. I gotta set up the date and stuff. Here's your music for when you put in a CD, I'm guessing. The D-pad's okay. I mean, it's better than the one on, what was it, the GameCube. But it may have just been my GameCube remote was horrible. It may have not been or not horrible, but the D-pad on my GameCube remote may have been messed up. It may have not been any other remote. Okay. Well, right now I'll put in, what game is this? Fighting Force 2. Now, this is a lot more noisier than the PS1. I'm not sure if it was just my Dreamcast or if it was for every Dreamcast, but this is a lot more noisier than my PS1, the one I got. And then you got the little LED screen in there. It says Fighting Force 2 on there. Can you hear that thing whining at me? Well, this loads back up again. I'm going to say you can have 2 VMUs or memory card things in here. Not sure completely how that works. You got the buttons, the nice analog stick that I mentioned, nice D-pad, cords down at the bottom, which can get annoying if your system is in front of you, which mine is. The triggers though are pretty good, kind of Xboxy, which aren't really, but there's not 2 of them, so there's just these. So yeah, the button doesn't click down like the PS2, PS1, and PS3 are, but yeah, the controller just fits perfectly in your hand. Okay, here we go again. Oh, I hit the I hit it. Okay, start game. That one, I never can make it past level 1, so. Hey, there's me again, talking into the camcorder. If you're hearing like a weird that's the disc. Okay, here we go. It kind of gets confusing because you have to find all those little cards to get through the next doors and stuff, which means you have to take out everyone, and I can't figure my way around maze type games, so I'm hoping I'll get a more addicting game. I'll go through this one. The controls are pretty addicting though, like in don't know how, but they just are. X is to jump, even though it's on the left, which makes me kind of confused. I'm like, X, okay, jump, and then I can't jump because I'm thinking of PlayStation controls and whatnot. That's just me though, that ain't a console failure. I'm going to get a gun by risking my life up here. And I just realized there's a ladder here to climb on. I usually just jump for my life, hope I make it. Let's do that. And I still made it. And I think I picked up a gun last time I got a gun. Where's my gun? Don't tell me I didn't pick up... Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, you hold down Y, I think it is, and you can choose the things that you have. But the thing on the remote just randomly plays different pictures and such. I don't know what they have to do with the game half of the time, but I just lost half my health. This way. And then the system, I mean, it's a really good console, but kind of kind of reminds me of the GameCube. Not as good as the PS2, but still really nice, but you would rather have another console over it. Unless you're a like collector, collecting stuff, kind of like how I like collecting stuff. But yeah, at the time, this is for the time period anyways of that date, rather getting a Nintendo 64 or a PS1 or this, I would probably get this. But in 1995, I'd rather have the PS1. 1996, I'd rather have the PS1. 1997, I would rather have the PS1. But also the games, like the only on this console games, the only game that is only on this console that's good would probably be Sonic. Because that, but there's games like for it that work on the PS1 or PS2 or Nintendo 64 that also came out for this. So those games are pretty good. But the PS1, I like a lot of the only on PlayStation 1 games, and I like a lot of the only on Nintendo 64 games. This didn't have as many. Okay, now here's something that if you have this game, you have to break open this thing to move on, so remember to break open that thing to get 2 cards, or you won't be able to move on. It took me hours to figure out how to get there. Because I'm just running around trying to find a key code to open the door, and I was all confused. But yeah, here's the Dreamcast. You've seen the PS1, Nintendo 64. I actually had a lot more gameplay for the Nintendo 64, but I never showed you it. So that was kind of a failure of itself.